All right, so picture this. You're sitting around a card table with some friends. The vibe is relaxed, you know, just some friendly competition. But then, one little piece of advice gets shared, and suddenly the whole game just stops cold.
And that's Tim. That's the sound of our game grinding to a halt. One player is totally lost, and his honest confession is where we're going to start. We are going to break down the exact rule that has him so stumped, and by the end of this, you'll get it just as well as the expert at the table.
Okay, so who's actually at this table? Let's meet the crew.
First up, you've got Rocky. He's 71, our resident expert. He's the one trying to drop a little bridge wisdom on everyone. And, well, he's also the source of all this confusion.
Then there's Gary, who's 71, and Glenn, the senior member at 75. You can just picture him, totally dialed in. Glenn's even got his cane propped up against his chair. They're here to play.
And then we have Tim. He's 72, leaning in, probably adjusting his hearing aid, really trying to get what Rocky's saying, but it's just not clicking. Tim is our guy, because if we can make this make sense for him, we can make it make sense for anybody.
So, what is this mysterious rule that has Tim so completely baffled? It's something called the Rule of 11.
Now, the official definition sounds a little, well, technical. It's a way to figure out how many cards your opponent has that are a higher rank than the one that was just played. In other words, it helps you figure out who's holding the good cards.
And this is Rocky's super simple explanation. You can just hear him, right? It's easy, just subtract from 11. But for Tim, and let's be honest, for a lot of us, a one-liner like that just leads to more questions.
So yeah, Tim is officially checked out. And maybe you're feeling a little lost too. That's okay. We need to go beyond Rocky's quick summary and really unpack how this rule works, step by step.
All right, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this thing. We're going to leave the confusion behind. From here on out, it's all about clarity.
It's really just a simple 4-step recipe. Step 1, you always start with the number 11. Don't worry too much about the why. Just know that 11 is the magic number. Step 2, subtract the value of the card that was just led. Step 3, you look at the dummy hand. That's the one that's face up on the table. And you subtract any cards you see there that are higher. And finally, step 4, you do the exact same thing for your own hand. That's the whole formula.
And the number you're left with at the end? That is the golden ticket. It tells you exactly how many cards the main opponent, the declarer, is holding that can beat the card that was just played. It's like having a little superpower.
Theory is one thing, but it's always easier when you see it in action. So let's go back to that card table and actually apply this rule to a hand.
Okay, so let's imagine the opening lead is a 7 of spades. You look across the table at the dummy's hand, and you see one spade higher than a 7. Let's say it's the queen. Then you peek at your own cards and see you've also got one, the king. So the big question mark is, what does the declarer have?
All right, let's do the math. We always start with our magic number, 11. The card that was led was a 7, so 11 minus 7, that leaves us with 4. Easy enough. Now for step 3, we look at the dummy's hand. We saw one higher card over there, the queen. So we take our 4 and subtract 1. Now we're down to 3.
And the final step, we check our own hand. We had one higher card, the king. So we subtract 1 more from our total. 3 minus 1, and that gives us our final answer.
2. That's the answer. You now know with absolute certainty that the declarer is holding precisely 2 spades that are higher than that 7. It's not a guess anymore. It's information.
So, we did a little bit of subtraction. What's the big deal? What's the payoff? Why is this little piece of math so important to players like Rocky?
Well, here's why it's a huge deal. You're not just flying blind anymore. This little calculation gives you a peek into a hand you're not supposed to see. It helps you predict how strong your opponent is. It tells you when you should play that ace or king and when you should hold back. You stop giving away tricks for no reason.
And really, that's the secret weapon Rocky was trying to share. Bridge is a game of information, and the rule of 11 is what turns a complete shot in the dark into a smart, calculated decision.
You know, it really makes you think. Almost every game out there, whether it's cards, chess, even video games, has these hidden layers of math and logic just waiting under the surface. So it leaves me with one last question for you. What's the secret rule that gives you an edge in your favorite game?